Hello traders, and welcome to Trading the Trend. I am Dennis, and this is my weekly look at the market trends for week ending October 20th. And let's get right into it. S&P 500, we're looking at the weekly chart, and you can see not a big candle, but there is a little bit of a green candle up there following a doji. That's always a good sign. You would not want to see a red candle after a doji. So S&P new all-time highs here. Markets just keep pushing up. The S&P is up like 15% year to date. That is a big one-year move for the S&P. Moving down to or onto the Dow, and the Dow has even had a bigger move this past week. It just blew right through 2300. It actually gapped above 2300 and just continued to move higher throughout the week. All-time highs here again for the Dow. The Dow is up like 18% year to date. Looking at the NASDAQ, NASDAQ's been a little quieter the last 2 weeks. A couple little dojis. It is pushing higher. The NASDAQ is up around 25% year to date. I mean, just huge moves we're seeing in these things. Looking at the Russell 2000, the Russell's having a little bit of struggle here. You know, even though it's had a nice run here, it still had a lot of months here in the middle of the year where it just went sideways before it kind of got into gear here in August and September, and now it's struggling a bit here in October. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Next one to look at is the dollar index, and things are really changing here with the dollar. If you watched my earlier video on the Forex market with what's going on with the US dollar, dollar suddenly has gotten strong, and it looks like it might be ready to break higher here. And if we look at this, it looks better on a daily chart. We actually have a head and shoulders. In this case, this is a inverted head and shoulders, because this is going to be almost a inverted version of what's happening right now in the Euro US dollar Forex currency pair. And you have a shoulder, you have your head, and then you have the right shoulder. The neckline is here at 94. So we haven't broken above that yet, but I'd be looking for a daily close above 94, and that will pretty much signify this trade. And from there, I mean, we could be looking, usually measure these things from the head to the neckline. So that's what, three points here. So you're talking about 95, 96. So you're talking about a move to 97 if this turns out to be true, and that is a pretty substantial move that gets you up into this consolidation area over here. That would be a very nice move, so we'll see where it goes to from there if we get there. Next thing to look at is the price of crude oil. Oil managed to stay above 50 for another week. That's good. We're bumping against this resistance here around 52, so we'll be looking to see if we can get through there. If we can, then we'll be looking at these highs in that 53 to 54 area will be our next target. We have been moving up since we bottomed out here in June, so we'll just keep an eye on this and watch it. This is actually the daily. What does it look like on the weekly? Yeah, I mean, that's this move right here. Since the June, we've just been creeping our way up, but this thing basically, it's in just a trading range right now. It's been like that for well over a year. So nothing exciting is happening in oil. If you look at the energy sector, same situation. It's broken this big downturn, and now it's trying to creep its way up, but there are a lot of overhead resistance here. We'll see just how far it can go. Next, we'll look at our metals. Not a good week for gold. It looked like we had a nice reversal. You had your pin bar, you had your nice up candle, and then we just reversed the entire move last week. This little candle here is the start of this week. These are live charts right here, and it does look like the price of gold is going to test that 1260 area, and of course it does have the potential to come down here even a little bit further and still not break this uptrend we've had for this year. Now if you look at silver, different picture. Silver is very much stuck in this range where it's just going sideways, and it's like right smack in the middle of that sideways range. Same with the gold miners, just stuck in this sideways range, and it's right in the middle of that range. So they're still keeping the lid on the precious metals. And the last thing I'm going to look at is the Bitcoin. And wow, has this thing been exciting. Had the big move last week, and then this week we managed to top 6,000. Pulled back a little bit. It's just under 6,000 right now, but Bitcoin has just been on fire. Its market cap has crossed the $100 billion mark. It has now moved up to like 58% of the cryptocurrency market. So, and the rest of the cryptocurrencies are just kind of consolidating, moving sideways, even pulling back a little bit. They have not participated in this run-up in Bitcoin at all. So it's all about Bitcoin right now. And that's pretty much what I got for you. All the trends are just continuing to move. There's nothing to do but just to continue to ride them until we get a real reversal signal. And you know, you got a lot of bears out there calling for a market crash, market correction. Well, right now we're not seeing any indication of that. Perhaps when it does happen, you'll see maybe in like the S&P 500 Dow, you'll see just a huge move up and then a reversal. That will be our signal. But until that happens, I would just stay long on everything. Okay, anyway, that's what I have for you. Catch you all later in my thread.